Welcome to the Buck Stops Here Weekend Edition. I'm Ankita Mukherjee. The BJP calls it one of the largest mass outreaches in India's electoral history, with Narendra Modi participating in a staggering 5,827 election events. So has the Narendra Modi shock and awe campaign, as it's being called, transformed the way Indian elections will be fought henceforth, or could this high decibel campaign even now go the India shining way? That's our big debate coming up in a moment. But first, let's take you through the big news headlines at this hour. Just hours ahead of his face-off with Narendra Modi in Varanasi, Arvind Kejriwal gets a notice from the Election Commission. He had allegedly said those who vote for the Congress and the BJP will be committing treachery against God and their country. UP officials and UP police and EC officials carry out raids at the BJP's office in Varanasi just days after a showdown between the BJP and the poll panel. Just hours later, the EC closes the case. Why was one party singled out? Asked the BJP. A day ahead of polling, the BJP's Uttar Pradesh in charge, Amit Shah, writes to the poll panel, says he's concerned by the presence of many Samajwadi Party heavyweights in Azamgarh, from where Mulayam Singh Yadav is contesting, asks the poll panel to take action. And Narendra Modi and Rajnath Singh meet RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat to discuss post-poll strategies, the second such meeting in less than 24 hours. But on to our big focus tonight. It's been a campaign blitzkrieg, the likes of which has never been seen before. From public meetings to chats through TV links to 3D rallies, Narendra Modi seems to have done it all. His 24/7 social media teams have also ensured Modi's presence online was unrivaled by any other Indian politician. Well, the Congress has called Modi's media and publicity campaign relentless and a vulgar display of the power of black money. We ask tonight, has the Modi campaign redefined the way Indian elections will be fought henceforth?
The BJP says it's nothing less than the largest mass outreach in India's electoral history. With Narendra Modi reaching out directly to 234 million people. Compare this with Rahul Gandhi and Arvind Kejriwal. And then there's social media, where campaign hit a new and vicious low, with terms like Feku and Pappu flying about. Narendra Modi's online footprint is staggering, with dedicated Twitter handles in 9 different languages targeting all the large states where BJP has a presence. At the end of a hectic campaign that saw him travel 3 lakh kilometers as opposed to Rahul's 1.6 lakh kilometers, Narendra Modi called it extensive, innovative and satisfying. The Congress hit back, saying the BJP had a publicity fund of 10,000 crore rupees, only 10% of which was accounted for. The big question, has campaign 2014 changed the way elections will be fought henceforth?
Well, joining us tonight from the Congress, Sanjay Jha, Vineet Goenka, the national co-convener of the BJP's IT cell, is also with us, as is Shazia Ilmi, spokesperson for the Aam Aadmi Party, and Sohail Seth, managing partner, councillor, and somebody who understands brands all too well. But let me begin with Vineet Goenka, someone who's been closely associated also in a sense with the BJP's sort of IT drive. Holograms, 3D rallies, 272 plus was a mobile application used for the first time these elections, this 24-hour social media onslaught that we've seen. Do you feel that campaign 2014 in a way has changed the way elections are going to be fought in this country henceforth?
Yeah, what we have done is that we have all banked on the 4 I's basically. We talked about the ideologue of ourselves with a lot of intensity in the market. So what we have done is we have tried to contact the first time voters, we have tried to contact the youths, and I think the overall experience which is there in the 8 phases which has been is quite satisfactory for us.
But do you think an online campaign strategy, since that is your area of expertise, no matter how focused or energetic, can actually win elections? Because, I mean, voters, for instance, in the last phase in Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Bihar, do they have Twitter accounts? Do they have Facebook accounts? Are they checking what's happening online?
See, elections are fought with a lot of different things. One is the door-to-door campaign, which we call as Ghar Ghar Chalo Abhiyan, which is done by the Karyakartas. And social media is one of the tools been used by Bharatiya Janata Party. It's not the only tool which we have used. So while we have used social media, there are the door-to-door connect between the Karyakartas and the voters over there, and we have been using all other tools which are required in the election. So this is not the only tool which we have been using.
All right, let's go across to Sanjay Jha. The BJP says it sort of addressed absolutely every form of reaching out to the voter that it could possibly do so, and its online strategy was just one of them. Just to give you one example, Narendra Modi has dedicated Twitter handles in 9 regional languages, targeting every state where the BJP felt it had a presence or it had a chance. Rahul Gandhi, in contrast, isn't even on Twitter. Do you believe you missed out on something there?
Ankit, I'll make a very few quick points. I mean, you saw the huge crowds that greeted Mr. Gandhi in Varanasi. And I can assure you that Varanasi doesn't have the kind of either the internet reach or the social media penetration that is normally assumed to be in the urban cities of India. So the reach or the contact with people actually can take up multiple forms. The second point is that we very often confuse branding with visibility. There are two different things. I mean, you can spend as much money as you want. I mean, there are classic cases where, a lot of money has been spent to create a product, but the brand is finally created by the consumer, not just by how much you spend. And therefore, coming down to the social media issue that the BJP really talks about, you see, no matter how much of, technology you use, end of the day, if technology was being utilized by political parties to reach out to a new demography of India, the BJP cannot, wish away or wash away Pramod Muthalik, who everybody knows was famous for a pink chuddy campaign, very anti-youth, very anti-liberal. So is the case with Baba Ramdev. So, or the views of the BJP on Section 377, which are all very regressive and, very antiquated. So end of day, I think in a pitch that a political party makes, the fallacy has been, which is exactly what I've been saying all along, that Mr. Modi's visibility may have been high. That is one aspect. But I think brands are finally about trust, and I think that's where the Congress Party and Mr. Gandhi have been more successful.
And let's bring in Sohail Seth at this point. Did brand Modi trump over brand Rahul or brand Kejriwal in this campaign, Sohail? Or, were the medium and the message two entirely separate things here?
You tell me. NDTV and other channels telecast live his arrival in Varanasi. So you added and aided his efforts at brand building. Number one. Number two, I think it is erroneous for anyone, whether it's, and let me park one thing. I don't speak for either Congress or BJP or any of these parties. If I were to analyze visibility in an election, there are two things that are important. One is visibility. I must know who my candidate is or the political party that I should be voting for. And number two, very critically, I should approach and appeal to every segment of the audience. Jha is right. Internet penetration may not be very high. But please remember, who are the people who are on Twitter? People on Twitter have the capacity to influence through their newspapers, through their editorials, through their, other areas of influence. So editors are on Twitter, columnists are on Twitter, television channel heads and honchos are on Twitter. So to disregard Twitter would be stupid. Number one. Number two, you've got to understand that Modi has used every trick in the book, and sensibly so. When a guy goes to the EVM, he's not looking at photographs of candidates. He's looking at election symbols. He's looking at party symbols. For instance, if on every interview that Modi has given, he's kept the BJP symbol right there on his chest, that's an important way of transmitting, brand visibility.
Including
and it's not about whether brand Modi will trump Rahul or Kejriwal. That we will know post May 16.
Okay.
That we'll know post May 16. Has there been a lot of effort taken in ensuring that all media stakeholders are targeted? The answer is yes. Has Rahul missed the bus as far as Twitter is concerned? My personal opinion is yes. Because if Rahul is the youthful leader that he wishes to be, and he is, from the Congress, then you're talking about a medium which actually engages with the youth. And for you not to be on the medium could be either one of two things. One is you don't believe that the medium is relevant. Number two, you're arrogant enough to believe that there are other ways. See, in marketing and in brand building, you take into account all media channels. You are not the filter, the consumer is. Let the consumer decide which channel he wishes to turn to in order to get the brand message.
So visibility on all platforms then. Let me get the Aam Aadmi Party into this also. Shazia Ilmi, now the AAP actually has had a very clever media strategy, and it's also sort of, had people like you, former journalists, people who understand the media very well and the way it functions. But do you believe that, when compared to this absolute media onslaught that we've seen from the BJP with its superior financial powers also perhaps, are there lessons there for you to learn that you will take back? Has this in a way transformed the way these elections were fought?
Yeah, the lesson maybe one should learn is not to have an FIR against Mukesh Ambani and speak against industrialists and crony capitalism. But the fact of the matter is, who said my goodness, can I finish whatever I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is that, these elections are about money. All elections have always been about money and many other factors. But the biggest PR exercise, the kind of ad spend we've seen, the front page and the advertorials that we saw, we have never seen something like this. For a country like ours, which is a poor country, which houses one third of the world's poor, to have a party spend so much money, so blatantly, so shamefully, so brazenly, and without any known sources as to where the money is coming from, is indeed setting a very dangerous precedent. Spend all the money by all means, but at least tell us where the money is coming from. Is there any quid pro quo for the kind of money that is being offered?
Yeah, Vineet Goenka, that's something that both the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress is now accusing you of. We heard Anand Sharma say just the other day that, this is a 10,000 crore corpus we're talking about, only 10% of it is accounted for. How do you respond to it?
So I just, it's very simple, you can just laugh it out. People, when they miss this kind of buzz, they can't do bizarre, allegations. Now, where does these caps come from? Do we get into all that? We have Karyakartas, when they donate for us, we get these funds. But when they donate for somebody else, then it is a true and a formal way. When they donate it for us, then it becomes black money. I have never heard about this.
Caps with helicopters?
Now, Shazia, when I am speaking, if you speak in between, then same thing. I can also speak in between. So when we spend something, we have accounted for. We are a responsible political party. We give our accounts to EC. Anybody can go and check it out. There's nothing wrong in that. B, why are they talking about all this now? AAP has been using social media. They tried to use that. They failed miserably in their own campaign. And now they're talking about all this. Rahul Gandhi, he tried his best to come in. Poor guy, he was misguided by all these people who were around him. And probably our Karyakartas took it in the right state. They were excited by Modi ji. We talked about what we will do. We never talked about what this country needed. And let me also, one more thing. Let me correct Shazia. Country is not poor. India is a rich country with poor people because of Congress rule and hypocrites which form small parties and try to speak about loud things.
All right, Sanjay Jha, very quickly respond to the points that the BJP...
for you.
Okay, Sanjay Jha, come in on this. The BJP claims, as a party, you just failed to market Rahul Gandhi as your leader perhaps by not projecting him as your prime ministerial candidate from the very beginning. Do you at least acknowledge now in retrospect that was a mistake?
Ankita, the verdict on that will be on May 16th. I think we need to take a deep breath, have some patience. I think the outcome will be known. And I want to assure my friend Mr. Goenka, the election is over, so we can skip the rhetoric. The fact of the matter is that when political parties campaign, Mr. Goenka, I didn't interrupt you. Can we have mutually reciprocal grace there? Whether you use electronic media, whether you use print, billboards, social media, emails, whatever, the truth is that you have to use multiple platforms because some are more accessible to people, some are not. But the truth is, and I think that is the fundamental point I wish to make, is that, Mr. Modi in this campaign, as usual, generated a lot of heat. And the difference is Mr. Gandhi generated light. I think I would like to use that as an analogy to explain the difference between people. Because, you see, political personalities are different. Mr. Modi is a I, me, myself leader. Mr. Gandhi is a we, us, ourselves leader. So, there is a whole difference in approach.
But
and
did
that
the
will
Congress
influence
run
the
away
choice
from a
of the medium
personality
that you
battle?
choose to go
Sanjay
out.
Jha, did the Congress run away from a personality battle?
Not at all. Not at all. You see, that was the electoral strategy of the BJP from the very beginning. If you look at BJP today, nobody talks of the BJP anymore. It's about Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. They wanted to subsume that organization because the BJP looked rudderless, and they said, focus on a man, sell him like a presidential campaign, make him out to be a product, and hope that the people will be somewhere falling for, whatever strategies they have.
Okay,
we are very convinced that's not going to work. It hasn't worked.
Ankita,
Okay.
And it has boomerang on the
Ankita, I think I'll
Ankita,
have to
Yes,
jump in.
let Shazia also
Yeah.
put her point in, and then I will come back to you for a rebuttal. Yes, Shazia, go ahead.
Ankita, these are, just look at the trend of these elections. We only spoke about Modi. There were no issues that were discussed. There were no new ideas vis-a-vis governance, vis-a-vis education, vis-a-vis infrastructure. It was only Modi. We didn't discuss any candidates of BJP. We didn't discuss Yedurappa, Shrimalus and all the BJP candidates with criminal records, and all of them who are there because of their fathers and mothers, because of dynastic succession. It was only about Modi. But if Modi were to be so popular, let's believe that, if he was indeed a natural winner or a leader, why would he need such a huge ad spend? You wonder. And these are not presidential form of government. They must know that. It's democracy. So it's about, and every MP reflects the will of his or her people that who elects him or her.
So coming on this as well.
So how
Okay, so
yes, so
do
it's
you
a parliamentary
believe
form of
that
democracy.
Do you also believe that Narendra Modi, by turning this whole campaign into a kind of presidential style referendum on himself, changed the way elections are going to be fought henceforth?
I would imagine so, and for three reasons. Number one, the Congress, for whatever reasons, and you've got to regard that as their strategy, didn't identify an individual, they identified a party. Number two, Modi believed, and all his people kept saying in all their interviews when they did their own research in BJP, they found that the man was more popular than the party, for whatever reasons. Third, people buy brands because they buy benefits. You don't buy surf, you buy the whitest wash. Now, in some people's minds, Modi may stand for decisiveness. In other people's minds, he may stand for governance. That's for people to judge. And that will be known on the 16th of May. The reality is, as David Ogilvy famously said, there are no statues of committees in any parks. It's individuals who drive. And let me correct everyone on the panel. To say that this is a Modi-driven campaign for the first time in India is incorrect. Post-1971, it was an Indira Gandhi-driven campaign. When Rajiv Gandhi romped home to a massive victory at the end of 1984, it was Rajiv Gandhi, the wounded, aggrieved son, because of a horrific assassination. We've had a country and we've had the tradition of individuals. Naveen Patnaik, who runs a fabulous government in Orissa, became Naveen Patnaik because of Biju Patnaik. So we've had this tradition. To only blame Narendra Modi would be stupid. Having said that, sadly, and Shazia is right, we in a democracy today are saddled with a presidential form of electioneering because the issues are no longer relevant. Because we've come to believe that all our politicians who promise us things that they will deliver, they never deliver them. So what we are looking at is rhetoric which is television presentable rather than rhetoric which may be real.
I want both the...
So the argument that, Narendra Modi is running a presidential form of government is silly. The fact is, at the end of the tunnel, you've got to see who's going to win and who's not going to win. And we'll know that in a couple of days.
Okay, so the final verdict, of course, on the 16th of May. But very quickly, respond to it. What about the issues? Did we see Narendra Modi really talk about his deliverables in the kind of detail in which perhaps voters would have wanted to see?
Narendra Modi talked about the issues which the country is facing. He also talked about the ideologies which we have. He talked about development. So we've been reflecting everywhere. We have done more than 4,000 plus rallies in the country. He has traveled more than 3 lakh kilometers. He has been talking on Chai Pe Charchas, 272, he has been interacting with all the people. He has been talking about issues, what he's going to do, what is there in the dream. See, we are talking about role clarity. We have a goal clarity in our mind. We are only talking about the things which we can promise and we can deliver. We are not talking about the world as so. So we have been talking about fulfillment of the desire of the people. We are talking about development. In contrast, Congress does not have anything to talk. They are trying to hide their scams. They are trying to hide the failure. Otherwise, why would have they put then Priyanka Robert Vadra for the campaign there? she would not have come otherwise, you know.
Sanjay Jha, respond.
Geeta, you know, the elections are over. I mean, the campaign is done.
It's not.
We have to point out that the last phase of polling is tomorrow.
Now, I just want to make one point. Mr. Modi's true colors. The mask was off at Faizabad when he spoke of, you know, with Ram Rajya. Suddenly you had the backdrop of Lord Ram. You had the Ram Mandir. When he talked of pink revolution. I think the game was up. I think everybody knows that. So the whole development facade is frankly always been nothing but a smokescreen for the deeper Hindutva agenda. Who did Rajnath Singh and Modi meet immediately after campaign ended? They went to the RSS. So this is what we have maintained all along. This election is between the Congress and the RSS, not the Congress and the BJP. But we are very convinced and we are waiting very anxiously for the verdict on May 16th. And let me tell you that ultimately development, issues of economy, jobs, inflation, current account deficit, these are very complex issues. And end of the day, if a politician wanted to discuss that, they could have.
My friend, you were ruling for 10 years. You were ruling for 10 years.
Because he has no solutions. He has no prescriptions.
We have delivered solutions in Gujarat and Congress has been ruling for 10 years and these are all problems created by Congress. Please understand this.
Mr. Goenka, another 4 days, another 5 days, that's all.
All right. Shazia, you know, with this absolute campaign onslaught in a sense that we've seen, has Narendra Modi been actually be able to deliver that message of what he stands for, whether it's development and or you know, something else, you know, which the Congress could call a Hindutva message? Has that come through clearly enough?
If you see posters in Banaras, and that's where I'm coming from, they're huge posters with a superimposed picture of some stranger where it's being said, "Mera Banaras se purana rishta hai, main Ganga maa ka beta hu." I mean, it's like soap opera. It's a joke. He needs permission for an arti. He even politicizes that. It's hilarious. And, you know, it's almost become like a tear-jerker Nirupma Roy kind of a film, you know. I mean, where there are pictures of other people and posing to be Narendra Modi in his youth. So, I don't know. So, if development was such a key issue, if infrastructure was such a key issue, why would he talk about, why would he go to the religious capital of this country and talk about Dharm and Ganga Ma and all of that? You wonder.
Okay, Sohail said very quickly, will the Modi decision to really go after, you know, what's being projected as this Obama style of campaigning benefit the BJP, do you believe? I mean, it's backfired for them in the past, something as high decibel as, you know, the India Shining campaign not so long ago. What's different this time? Yes. What's going to work?
The difference is, in the India Shining campaign, there was a certain arrogance and brazenness about the BJP and they didn't project the statesmanship of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. That's the mistake. If they had projected the statesmanship of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, it may have worked. But, you know, I don't hold a candle for either party. Has it worked for Modi? We'll know on May 16. But was this the only option? I guess so. Because sadly, and what Shazia just talked about, you know, in Benares and posters and all that, frankly, it says a lot about us rather than about our politicians. We are so easily swayed even to this day on caste, creed, religion and color that, you know, let's stop blaming the politicians for kind of emasculating us on these grounds. The fact is, this is what works. And, you know, you more than anyone else being on television know, jo bikta hai wo chalta hai. The reality of the fact is that we will never have in this country intelligent discussions because people start abusing each other. Political parties are unwilling to have their leaders go in for a debate, a televised one-on-one debate. People are hesitant. Political parties are hesitant.
Well, I think that's the one thing we certainly missed in this campaign was an actual debate between, between the faces of this election, Rahul Gandhi, Narendra Modi, Arvind Kejriwal. That's something the Aam Aadmi Party wanted and mentioned several times as well. But, you know, whether this campaign worked or not.
That would have been the sign of a mature democracy.
Right.
That would have been the sign of a mature democracy.
Well, we certainly missed that.
People are tired of abuse. They want solutions. We all know what the problems are.
We know what the problems are. Well, will we get those solutions? The final answer to all those questions perhaps we'll get on the 16th of May, but it wouldn't be too far off the mark to say this campaign has been one that we haven't seen the likes of before. That's it then on The Buck Stops Here Weekend Edition, but do join us again next Sunday. Thanks for watching.